Hey, it's day 315, the happiness of Saffanah. As people ran to join Islam, there were some groups who continued in their enmity towards the Messenger of Allah. They started wars against the Muslims. In one of those wars fought with these groups, the Muslims took a woman by the name of Saffanah as a prisoner of war. Saffanah was an intelligent and knowledgeable woman. When she saw the Prophet approach, she stood up and said, "O Muhammad, my father has passed on to the next world, and my brother has run away. As for me, I don't have anything with which to pay for my freedom. I want your help." The Prophet asked, "Who are you?" Saffanah answered, "I am the daughter of Hatam Tai, who protects families, frees slaves, feeds the hungry, clothes those who cannot afford clothes, and spreads good cheer among people." These words of Saffanah pleased the Prophet. He smiled and looked at her lovingly. He said, "These descriptions fit the Muslims," and then he freed Saffanah. Saffanah had understood how kind and gentle a person this man was. Without wasting any time, she became Muslim. Later, she looked for her brother. She found him, and she explained to him what had happened. Her brother was Adi bin Hatam, the former chief of Yemen. It pleased him to hear of the forgiveness granted by Muhammad SAW and the kindness that he had shown. He was anxious to see him as soon as possible, so he set out for Medina. When Adi reached Medina, the Prophet invited him to his home. Adi kept watching him carefully. They started off together and walked towards the house. While they were on their way to the Prophet's house, an old lady stopped them. At length, she told the Prophet what her problem was. She went on explaining. Adi was seeing a leader for the first time who was this patient and understanding. He himself used to be a leader in the past, but the poor people could not stop him like this. Even if they did, he would not listen to them. He would send them to his ministers. Yet, the Prophet was sincerely listening to this old lady. How compassionate and patient he was towards her. In the end, the Prophet took care of the needs of this elderly woman, and then they continued their walk. This event had impressed Adi so much. He said to himself, he could only be a prophet. No one other than a prophet could do this. Not long after that, they reached the house. The Prophet asked Adi to take a seat on a cushion made from an animal skin. This was the only cushion on which one could sit. The Prophet sat on the ground in front of him. This had never been seen before, this hospitality and this humility. Adi believed now with perfect peace of mind that this was a prophet and not a king. Just as his sister had done, he took the Shahada and became a Muslim. Like Saffanah, he enjoyed the beauty of embracing the true religion.